Today we are going to reread Zinnia's Flower Garden, and as we read today, we're going to then put the events in order after we're done reading. So you have to be paying attention about what's happening first, what's happening after that, and the order of the events, okay? And that's going to be really helpful when we talk about the plant life cycle and how plants grow. Okay, and then when we're done, we're going to answer our WH questions. So who, what, where, when, all those good stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and get started and read Zinnia's Flower Garden. Author and illustrator, Monica Wellington. Zinnia's Flower Garden. Spring has arrived. Zinnia is getting her garden ready for planting. She digs up the soil and turns it over with her shovel. She takes out stones and rakes the dirt smooth. The warm sun feels good as she works. So think about what's the first thing she's doing. Zinnia carefully plants many kinds of flower seeds in rows. She covers the seeds with dirt and pats it all down very gently. She sprinkles the ground with water. Zinnia waits for the seeds to sprout. The seeds need the sun to shine, the rain to fall, and many days to pass. It is hard to wait so long for her seeds to grow. Every day, Zinnia checks her garden to see if anything has happened. Look, the first seedling is poking its way up through the dirt. Now Zinnia's garden is full of green sprouts growing toward the sun. Little stems grow taller, little leaves get bigger, little roots burrow deeper into the earth. Zinnia takes care of her garden every day. When the sun is hot and the soil is dry, she waters her thirsty plants. She pulls up pesky weeds that try to crowd out her plants. She inspects them for greedy bugs. She measures how tall her strong and healthy plants are growing. Every day they get bigger and bigger. First thing in the morning, Zinnia runs out to check her garden. She is excited to see little buds growing on many of her plants. What do the buds turn into? Flowers. Very good. And then at last, she finds what she has been waiting for, the first flower. One bud has bloomed. How beautiful! And what a sweet smell. There are many more buds that will open soon. The garden grows and grows with blossoming flowers. Zinnia paints, reads, and picnics among them. Butterflies flutter, bees buzz. Zinnia's garden is her favorite place to be on these warm summer days. Her flowers are abundant, and Zinnia cuts some to arrange into bouquets. The fragrant scents of the flowers swirl around her in the warm breeze. One hot summer day, Zinnia has a lemonade stand and puts up a sign. Pick your own flowers. Customers come and gather bunches of flowers and drop money in her jar. In the autumn, also known fall, as it gets colder, Zinnia picks the last flowers from her garden. She finds ripe seeds that have formed. They are ready to be collected. She will save them to plant next year. So back in the spring when she plants seeds, she gets them from the flowers she picked from her own garden. That's how it starts all over again. The winter days are short, the sun is dim, and the ground is covered with snow. But Zinnia is already planning next year's garden. When spring comes, she will be ready to grow her very own flowers again. Okay, so let's think back. What's the very first thing Zinnia does, right? What was the first thing she does to make her flower garden? Does she all of a sudden have a full garden of flowers, or does she plant seeds in the garden? What happens first? Very good. She plants the seeds in the garden first. Excellent. Okay. Then what happens after that? Does she look out the window for snow, or does she take care of her plants every day? Good. She takes care of her plants every day. She has to water them, make sure they get sunlight, getting lots of air. Very good. Okay, so next, Does she have a full garden of flowers, or does she save the seeds for next year? She's got a full garden of flowers. Very good. Excellent. And now when she has all these flowers, what does she do with them? Does she start just looking out at the snow, or does she sell them and have a lemonade stand? She gave her flowers and had a lemonade stand. Very good. Then what happened after that? Now it's fall or autumn and it's starting to get cooler and her flowers are starting to die. What does she do? Does she just look out the window at the snow, or does she pick the ripe seeds so that she can plant them next spring? She picks the seeds. Very good. And then the last thing, when it's winter time, she just looks at the snow out of her window. Excellent job. Okay, last thing we're going to do now is we are going to answer some questions about this story. Now that we've done a picture walk and we've read it 2 times, we are ready to answer some questions about Zinnia's flower garden. So who is the story about? Was it about a girl or was it about a dog? We should know this one. It was about the girl, Zinnia. Very good. What is this story about? Was it about a garden or was it about bugs? A garden. Very good. What tool did Zinnia use to dig up the soil? So let's look back. So if we're going to dig up soil, would you use a rake or a shovel? What is that? A rake or a shovel? Which one? The shovel. Very good. When did she plant the seeds? So what season did she plant the seeds? In the fall or the spring? So in the fall when it's starting to get really cold, or the spring when it's starting to get warm again? When did she plant the seeds? In the springtime. Very good. Where did Zinnia's sprouts grow toward? So when they sprout up, right, do they sprout toward the sun, or do they go down in the ground to the soil? So do they go up or do they go down? A sprout. They go up towards the sun. Very good. Remember, the roots go down in the soil. What did Zinnia do when the sun was hot? She drank lemonade or she watered the flowers. So remember when the sun would be really hot and when the soil was dry and there was no rain, what did she do? She watered the flowers. Very good. What did Zinnia pull out of the soil in her garden? So remember, there might be some things in the way. So what did she pull out? Worms or weeds? Who remembers? Weeds. Very good. How did Zinnia feel when she saw the little buds growing on her plants? So remember when she finally had some buds growing? Here she is right here. So there she is. Look at her face. How do you think she's feeling? Is she scared or excited? Look at her again. Excited. Very good. Why is she excited? Because they're going to turn into what? What do the buds turn into? Flowers. Very good. What did Zinnia do with her flowers? So what did she do with them? Did she make bouquets? Or did she make lemonade out of the flowers? So she did both those things, right? She did make lemonade and she did make bouquets. But what did she do with the flowers? Made bouquets. Very good. What season is it at the end of the story? So we don't even need to look at the book. We could just look at our order. What season is it at the end of the story? Fall or winter? What season was it? Winter. Very good. And we are all done. Great job today, my friends.